We've got to wait 2 more days, a pivotal Game 3 in Oklahoma City on Sunday night. And in Games 1 and 2, it's really been a tale of second halves. Both teams outscoring each other 61-42. Stephen A., which result do you think is more likely to happen, though, in Game 3?
Neither. I think what will happen is it will be a replica of Game 1, except Golden State would win instead of lose. It'll be relatively tough, hard fought, but they'll play better in the second half and they'll win, but it won't be by a blowout. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be a OKC win, in my opinion, in Game 3. It'll be Golden State, but Golden State won't win the way they won in Game 2. I don't see Russell Westbrook shooting 5 of 14 and scoring just 16 points in Game 3. I don't see Kevin Durant attempting 5 shots in the second half in Game 3. I just see them being a bit more prolific. I definitely think they're going to make their presence be known. And Skip, if I had to pick what kind of game this will be, it will be similar to what happened last February when Steph Curry dropped 46 and he hit that shot from 35 feet as the game wind down. I think it'll be something akin to that. That's what I see happening in Game 3.
By the way, in that game you speak of at Oklahoma City, the middle game of the 3 that they played during the regular season, Oklahoma City led by as many as 12 in that fourth quarter and led by 5 in overtime. Pretty impressive. Still couldn't close the deal thanks to that little number 30 for Golden State, that unanimous MVP. Kevin Durant did turn the ball over too much in that game also, and turned it over obviously too much in Game 2 the other night at Golden State. So I have a couple of qualifiers here. I'm going to say it again. If Steph's swollen elbow becomes an ongoing issue, all bets are off. I just have to say that. I don't know enough about it. They say it's fine. I'll have to go with it. You're going completely fine. I also want to throw this out. I got to give Billy Donovan and Mo Cheeks
massive credit.
Hey, they keep making, first against my Spurs and then even in the second half of Game 1, for a rookie NBA head coach, Billy Donovan's he's pulling some levers there in the, at halftime in the locker room or even between games. So I'm impressed. I feel that they could change the balance of power in the series with their coaching. But I'm going to say this again. Golden State is favored by 2.5 points by the odds makers, the people who know, going into Game 3 at Oklahoma City. I also throw the caveat in, my Spurs were favored by an opening 2.5 going into Game 6 at Oklahoma City, and that didn't get them anywhere. But that's the sign of respect that Golden State deserves to get. I'm going to say it again. Golden State is a little better than Oklahoma City. They proved it 3 times in the regular season. They proved it in the first half of Game 1, in which they led by 13, and they proved it big time in both halves of Game 2. They led by 8 at halftime. They won the second half by 19. They won the game by 27. So to me, Golden State is good enough, if you will, better enough than Oklahoma City, to me, to win both games at Oklahoma City. Another good sign for Golden State on the plus side of the injuries. I don't know if you noticed, Stephen A., but Bogut looked pretty good in the second half the other night.
He did.
He looked spry.
He did.
He didn't look like his groin or his knee were ailing him or slowing him quite like it did at the first of the game when he looked a little limpy. And do not underestimate how valuable Bogut is to their defensive scheme to keep one Russell Westbrook away from the rim. And Russell was having a hard time in the third quarter getting to the rim because Bogut was there. Bogut can bang with Steven Adams. Bogut can hold his own in the lane against that muscle that Oklahoma City has, because when Cantor is in there with Adams, it's just a lot of height and long arms and big bodies. So he's essential to this, and it will help both Steph and Bogut that they have a very odd 4 days to get ready for Game 3. I don't know where that came from, but it's good for them. I think that's big advantage for Golden State. So now it comes down to the pride of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And again, The one mistake Golden State has made in this whole series so far is that they took their foot off the gas in the third quarter of Game 1. And especially, as you point out, they took their foot off Russell Westbrook. What changed the whole series? Russell Westbrook, as he is fully capable of doing, went into full-on attack mode and scored 19 points in 6 minutes, from the 7-minute mark to the 1-minute mark of the third quarter. That's it, man. It turned the whole series around at that moment. It allowed them to be in position to steal that game. And then they literally stole it at the end with a glaringly missed call that took the ball out of the hands of the deadliest three-point shooter in NBA history, in Steph Curry, with 17 seconds left. But Steph was 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. He was 1 for 5 from 3. They went 1 for 10 from 3. I'm going to call that anomaly. I'm going to call it aberration. I don't think it will happen quite like that again. As great as I think Durant and Westbrook will be on Sunday night, we both think they'll win that game. And I'll go out on the limb again. I think they're fully capable of winning both games in Oklahoma City now that they've gotten untracked.
Yeah, that's where you and I part ways. I believe it will be a split in games 3 and 4, and they will go back to Golden State for game 5, tied 2-2. That's what I believe will happen. That is what will go down.
All I know is we will be watching.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Sundays, someone thinks an NFL fan thinks that Aaron Rodgers is ruining the game on Sundays. Yes, Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, ruining football. I'll tell you why after the break.